Hello my dears, my name is Gemma and welcome back to My Dear Old World. It's lovely to see you if you are new or old, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the ethos behind my channel and why I started it in the first place. I am currently editing Will's birthday vlog, so keep your eyes out for that one, but I wanted to get something out to you before then. So last year I went through a lot. I got married and I was recovering from burnout, and throughout that process I struggled with some discontent with my life. And for a long time I didn't appreciate the life that I was living. I live in New Zealand, as you might hear from my accent, and we have a lovely life. My husband's doing a PhD and we get to live near the countryside with a couple of veggie patches and our little cat named Ollie. But it took me a long time to recognize that that my life had a lot of beauty in it, and so I talk a lot about on my channel about seeing the beauty, and that's really what pushed me to start my own channel, and how sharing my dear old world, seeing the beauty in my life, and how through as I look for the beauty in my own life, you can be encouraged to see the beauty in yours. Today's video is really about polishing your glasses and what that looks like, polishing your beauty seeing glasses and learning to be content with what you have. You know, life's not perfect. There's always good and there's always bad, but we don't necessarily need to focus only on the bad. There is a lot of good to see. So I want to talk about some ways that we can learn how to see the beauty in our own lives. And the first point is putting things in perspective. We all know that there are a lot of good things and a lot of bad things in life. There is a lot of ugly, there's a lot of tragic things that happen. But in terms of our day-to-day living, there are a lot of beautiful things that happen too. Unfortunately, at times, we can let those tragic or even mundane things surpass the beauty of the good. This first point is about putting things in perspective, and this might involve looking harder for the beautiful things, seeing the beauty. It might involve forced perspective, you know, looking closer at things, lying on the ground, noticing all the tiny details. Even if the big picture might seem bleak or ugly, there is always beauty to be found. I find even in just the little things, looking at dewdrops on the grass and noticing the way that the wind is rustling through the trees, you know, these little things can really help us to open our eyes to all the beauty that life has to offer. Right now in New Zealand, it's the middle of winter, and winter is often a time where there is not a feast for our eyes of beauty. But I believe that there are still beautiful things to be found. There's little things from the way that light seems a bit more hazy in winter, and so you get this beautiful contrast of the silhouette of the naked trees contrasted with the beautiful illumination of clouds in the sky. You don't get that in summer when you have the harsh light beating down. You don't get that in autumn when you have the vibrant colours, and you don't get that in spring when everything seems busy. But you get that in winter. And winter, like every other season, is unique and special and has beauty to offer that is tailored to its own season. My second point is about taking ownership of creating beauty. You know, often we can be waiting for life to happen to us. We can feel dissatisfied with our own lives because maybe we're stuck in a certain season. Maybe we're studying and we're looking at all of our friends abroad and having the time of their lives while we are in exams. But I believe that we can take ownership of creating beauty. We don't have to be just consumers of beauty. We can put beauty out into the world and we can create things that delight us. And that's part of the joy and the freedom of being human. And I want to acknowledge that these big, beautiful holidays and traveling abroad, there's a certain amount of privilege associated with it. But I don't believe that only those who are well off or have a lot of time are able to experience the beauty of life. In fact, I think the more humble lives we live, the more impact that those little beautiful things have on our souls. And some of you may know that I am a Christian, and I think that creating beauty and noticing the beauty in the world around us is a way of glorifying God and worshiping Him and being grateful, being grateful for all that we've been given. And taking time to slow down and notice the beautiful things really enriches our lives. And it also prevents us from falling into the comparison trap or becoming jealous or covetous. These things are ultimately death producing, they're not life producing. We are not living life to its fullest if we are jealous of someone else. We're not taking ownership of the life we've been given, the specific season we've been placed in. Now, it's good to have goals and aspire to things and hope. These are all things that are motivating and can keep us going, but it shouldn't detract from experiencing the season that we're in, living the life that we have been given. In my journey of learning to see the beauty, I have become so much more of a participant in my own life rather than an observer. My eyes have been transformed to the season that God has put me in and how I can appreciate the things that I've been given rather than being dissatisfied. And this takes a certain amount of humility, We have to acknowledge that we have been ungrateful, we have been dissatisfied with our lives, but we don't need to stay in that place. We can take ownership of our lives and we can notice the beauty and we can create things that enrich our experiences and bless others. I find personally I've experienced a lot more growth and I've achieved a lot more goals because I'm taking time to slow down, actually live my life, think about what I want to be and the life that I want to live and see how that is beautiful and chase after that. And I'm also so much more happy and content and grateful. So I wanted to leave you guys with some more practical tips of how you can go out and see the beauty in your own lives. Tip 1 is to consume literature that paints a really vivid picture of the beauty in the people, in the environment, in the architecture. A book series that I really love for this reason is Anne of Green Gables. That's why I named my channel My Dear Old World. And there's so many lengthy descriptions of nature and the seasons and life and the simple things that help you to notice those in your own lives. A second tip is to play music. This is a really simple and maybe frivolous tip, but by putting on music, you can create an atmosphere and that helps you to be more present. And it actually cements the memory in your brain for you to revisit. And that can feed you going forth when life doesn't seem as beautiful. My third tip is to study the flora and fauna of your region. Each part of the world has so much rich nature to offer us, and nature is beautiful. There is so much beauty in creation, and every part of the world offers unique flora and fauna to appreciate. Read books like Diary of the Edwardian Lady, or books on the plants of the area, or what kind of insects or birds occupy them, and learn their names and learn how to notice them. And that will help you to be more grateful with where you live as well. And I believe that this is a muscle that you can build. Don't be discouraged if this is taking some time and if it doesn't come naturally and it seems really clunky at first. As you learn to slow down and to notice the beautiful things around you, whether they are obviously beautiful or maybe require a bit more of a deeper digging, this is a muscle that we can build and exercise until it becomes really robust and it becomes a really natural part of the way that we live. So I would encourage you to grab a piece of pen and paper and note down the things that you can see right now that are beautiful, that bring beauty to you, that delight your eyes. Maybe it's the way that the light is streaming. Maybe it's the way that your animal interacts with you. Maybe it's food. Food is such a beautiful source of refreshment for us and nourishment. Maybe it's the way that you see people interacting. Maybe it's you interacting. Maybe it is a song or a piece of media that is really beautiful to you. Maybe it's the seasons or the birds or the nature or the way that the clouds look. Maybe it's a collection of objects that you really enjoy. It's okay to find beauty in the things that we own. Everyone notices different things, that's why they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This doesn't just apply to physical appearance, it applies to anything beautiful. Everyone finds beauty in different things, but the important thing and the encouraging thing is that beauty will be found if you look for it. Beauty is not something that is elusive. If you take a moment to slow down, notice the details, and confidently expect beauty, then you'll find it and it will bless you. Thank you guys so much for watching. You mean so much to me, whether you are new or old to my channel, and I just pray that this video blesses you and encourages you and helps you to be more grateful for the season that you're in, helps you to live life more fully and with more satisfaction. Keep an eye out for that vlog that I will be putting up next week of my husband's birthday. It's a good chance to get to know me and my life better, and there's lots of fun things that we do in that, so keep your eyes peeled. And if you'd like to, feel free to like the video and subscribe if you are interested in how I see the beauty in my everyday life in our little house at the bottom of the world. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.